What's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mina and I make videos every Wednesdays and every Friday. And today's video is going to be a tag. I haven't done a tag in I don't know how long. It's been a while. We are going to be doing the palette tag, and basically it's a bunch of questions about eyeshadow palettes, which is my favorite thing of makeup. I love eyeshadow palettes. By the way, I'm sorry for the lighting. It's very gloomy outside. I don't know what happened. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about eyeshadow palettes, and I have a few questions here that I will be answering with palettes. So without further ado, let's get started. And I will put the questions down below in the description, so if you feel like answering these questions, they're there for you. The first question is your newest palette. My newest palette is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. This is what it looks like. I guess I'll have to do this because it's boring if I don't show what's inside. Yeah, I purchased this on the release when it was first released, and I really haven't purchased a palette since then because I've been working on using my palettes and getting rid of them because I have a lot and I don't really use any of them, so it's not fair for me to just go buy a lot of things when I'm not even a beauty guru. I don't need that many eyeshadow palettes. But this is one of my favorite palettes. It's super beautiful. I have a couple of videos of me using this, so you can go look through my channel. This is one of my favorite palettes. It's Velvet Box. It has like this crown right here and silver like metal, and the colors are beautiful. They're very pigmented. By the way, you guys, I will be stating in this video that I am not going to be purchasing any more things from Jeffree Star. I will not be supporting the brand anymore, so do not expect me to review any other palettes because that is done. We are moving on, we are learning, we are getting better, and I apologize for supporting a person who is very problematic and said very problematic things. You do not have to accept my apology, but I am working on bettering myself, so I will not be purchasing any Jeffree Star palettes, but this is the palette that I've purchased the most recently. Next question is your oldest palette. So I have pretty much gotten rid of all of my oldest palettes. If you really want to think about it, honestly, it would probably be like a Maybelline. I also purchased the Naked 3, the Urban Decay Naked 3. So if we really want to get technical, the first purchase, like my high-end palette, was that palette. But I actually have gotten rid of every single palette that I used to have back in the day, so I don't have that anymore. So the second oldest one that I have is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This is on the inside. I used to love these chocolate bar palettes. I bought their peach palette, I bought this palette, I bought a lot of their like seasonal stuff, but now I know better, so I'm not really purchasing any more of their palettes just because I feel like their pigmentation is lacking, their consistency is not really there, so I don't really buy any more of their palettes. But I really don't use this one either. Like, honestly, I think the only color I've used is the Pink Sugar color, and it looks like it wasn't even that great, and the color Bonbon. So this will probably be my next project pan once I finish the Yes Please palette, because I just want to be rid of this palette. I don't want to keep it anymore because it's not one of my favorites at all. So yeah, I'm glad I have it because it's like OG beauty YouTuber, like back in like I probably bought this in 2015, so I've had it for like 5 years, and I think I've used it like twice. So next question is your most expensive palette. My most expensive palette, I don't have it on me right now, but is the Pat McGrath La Vie en Rose palette. I'll put a picture of it right here. I really haven't used it. If you want a video of me using it, let me know, because I just haven't gotten the chance to use it. I'm afraid of the pigmentation, and I'm afraid that the colors are like, you can't really do a look on it with it on its own, so I don't really use it. But if you want a video of me using it, let me know. But that is my most expensive palette other than the Jeffree Star palette. So next question is your least expensive palette, and my least expensive palette is going to come up later in this video. It is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I think I bought it like in 2014. I probably have bought like cheaper versions. I bought cheaper palettes, like the Wet n Wild quad or the Wet n Wild palette that I gave in my giveaway. That was the cheapest palette I purchased. I think it was like $4. The Maybelline palette that I talked about earlier was cheaper than that, but the one that I still currently own is the Yes Please palette by ColourPop, and I bought it like back way before ColourPop got poppin'. I think it was like $12. Yeah, I bought it like in 2015, and it had just come out, and it was super exciting. It was their first palette, their first eyeshadow palette that they released, And so I bought it, and that is the cheapest palette that I still have to this day. Next question is your everyday palette. Is the ColourPop Yes Please. This is what it looks like. It is my everyday palette because it's in my project pan. So here we are. Look at that. We've reached like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pans on this, which is more than I've hit pan on any other of my eyeshadow palettes. And yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this. I bought it way long ago, and I'm still using it to this day. But that's because I didn't really use it when I first purchased it. But now I'm like religiously only using this palette on my day-to-day life. Like literally, this is the only palette I use because it's my project pan. And I enjoy this, but I have the colors in different palettes, so I'm not going to miss it once it's gone. Next question is your most colorful palette. So my most colorful palette is no surprise to anyone. It is the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. What it looks like on the inside. Honestly, I never go for like colorful eyeshadow looks, and so I don't know why I purchased this, but I was super psyched when it came out, when it was like released. I believe it was like 2 summers ago at this point, maybe a summer ago, maybe it was last summer, I don't know. But I was really excited when this came out because I don't have any colorful eyeshadows, and this is the only one that like holds all of the colorful eyeshadows in one. And so yeah, I really enjoy this, and yeah, I'm glad I have it. Next question is the biggest palette I have is a tie between the James Charles palette from Morphe and this Dare to Dream 39A palette. This is what it looks like. It's by Morphe as well. So my Morphe palettes are my biggest palettes. Is anyone shocked? Because I'm not. So this is what it looks like. On the inside, I purchased this like when I first moved into this house. So that was like 2017, I believe. 2017 or 2018. It was limited edition when I bought it. That's why I bought it, because I thought it wasn't going to come back. But Morphe does this thing where they're like limited edition and then they bring it back, so I don't do that anymore. But this and the James Charles palette and the Jaclyn Hill palette are the only Morphe palettes that I have. And they take the cake for being the biggest palette because they're just freaking huge. Your smallest palette. My smallest palette would be this Kaja Trio. It's in the Sparkling Rosé color. This is what it looks like. It's literally super tiny. It's 3 colors. You have this color right here. You have, hold on. You have this color. And you have this color. And that is my smallest palette because it literally is like 3 eyeshadows. Super easy to travel with. Super easy to like keep in your drawers or in your makeup because it's super small, doesn't take space. It even has a mirror like on the top. It's super cute. And yeah, I purchased this I believe a year ago or so at this point, but I've only used it once and I really wasn't the biggest fan of it, so I might have to give it another chance because these colors look beautiful. So best memory. My favorite memory is with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This is what it looks like. On the inside, I've destroyed everything about this, to be honest. It's super dirty on the inside, but on the outside, it stayed relatively clean, honestly, for how powdery these shadows are. So my memory that comes with this is that it was my 18th birthday when I had this at this point. I had just purchased it, and I wanted to look bomb. I was just getting into makeup. I was feeling myself. It was my 18th birthday. I believe this was like 2015 at this point. Yeah, 2015. And I purchased this palette, and I think it had just come out, or it was like super new to where people were like, oh my god, it revolutionized the makeup game and the eyeshadow game because these shadows were so incredible and the color scheme was like beautiful. And there wasn't like many palettes with this color scheme in the market at this point. And so I decided to purchase it. So I purchased it, and on my 18th birthday I wanted to do a halo eye with the color, I believe it was either Venetian, I think it was Love Letter. I wanted to do a halo eye, and so I YouTubed it, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to do it. I was just like screaming. It took me like 4 hours. I was sitting there like, why does everybody think it was so easy to do a halo eye? I don't understand. It's not easy. And so every time I think of my makeup like memories, that's the fondest one I have, just because I was like so confused and didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I was so lost, and I found comfort in makeup, and this was like one of the first ones to like really like be like, wow, this is amazing, this beautiful, the color scheme is amazing. And yeah, so that's my memory, and this is my best memory with a palette. So the most worth the hype, without a doubt, is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. Look at this. Look at this. I say it's most worth the hype because honestly I feel like people sleep on this. When this came out, it was a super big deal. I believe it was Morphe's like biggest launch at this point. It was really like big at this point. I keep saying at this point. It was really big when it came out, and I believe I was at work when I purchased this. But the shadows are incredible. This is the original formula. The shadows are incredible. The way they blend is phenomenal. The color scheme is beautiful. Like, you can do anything with this. You can take this traveling. It's just so versatile, and the colors are really nice, and there's a lot of pigments in here and a lot of like everyday colors, but also pops of color where you can wear like on an occasion. And so I definitely believe this was worth the hype when it came out. I don't know if they changed the formula now. I wouldn't purchase that now just because I have this one, and I don't want to repurchase. I don't want to purchase the new one either. So this is all I have. And yeah, unless Morphe comes out with something really incredible, I haven't purchased from them since I believe the James Charles palette. So next question is least worth the hype. In my opinion, the least worth the hype is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. I know I love this. I know I said I made a video and I was super impressed by this and the color scheme and everything about it. This is what it looks like. I think there's a lot on the market that looks exactly the same and blends exactly the same. Sure, the formula is superior and the colors are nice and there's like beautiful stamps in the shadows and this like hardcore packaging. It is bulky, and I think I was just on the hype for it, but I don't think it's anything like super phenomenal to where you need it or you're missing out. I don't think it's like super necessary to have, honestly, because there's so many different palettes that are cheaper and have the same colors in it. So yeah, and I didn't purchase the Bloodlust. I didn't purchase the Blue Blood palette either, because this one, just kind of the packaging is lame. The font is kind of lame, and the shadows I have in every other palette, so I really didn't need it. I was just on the hype, but I don't think you would like be missing a lot if you didn't have this. These favorite palette from a favorite brand, which would definitely be the Dose of Colors Desi Katy palette. This is one of the most beautiful palettes. Look at it. Look at the colors. Look at the color scheme. The most pigmented, buttery smooth eyeshadows I've ever used. I honestly think this formula beats what is her name? Beats Anastasia's new formula. I like this formula so much better. It blends incredibly, immaculately. The colors are beautiful. The names are beautiful, and I love Desi and Katy. And Dose of Colors has just such innovative things. Their block shadows are beautiful. This is beautiful. Their lipsticks are beautiful, and I definitely recommend like getting something from Dose of Colors because they're high quality. This is like super sturdy, and their highlight, their Fuego highlight, is the most beautiful highlight I own. So yeah, this definitely wins the cake for that. The most used palette, so obviously without a doubt, it is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I use this to death. I've hit pan on like 7 different shades, honestly, truly, like 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 shades at this point. I am still going to be using this once this video is over. I'm trying to hit pan on it. That's why it's one of my most used palettes. I literally use this palette every single day when I wear makeup. On that note, that finishes this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you did. Let me know down below if you want any more tag videos to do for me to do. If you have any different tag videos that you want me to link me to so I can do as well, because I love tag videos. They're so much fun to do. Let me know if you agree with any of my opinions down below. Let me know if you disagree and why, because I love hearing your guys' opinions. But yeah, on that note, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today. Always remember to keep your head, heels, and standards high and to treat people with kindness. And I'll see you guys again next week with another video. Lil Sausage is out. Bye, guys.